guys, what's up? Retro Shinobi here, coming to another video, and in this video, I'm going to go over a couple of pickups, but first, I'm back in Illinois because I'm helping out my dad put up all of these shelves for the video game room, so I'm going to give you guys a little tour, and then we're going to get into the pickups. So these are the shelves that used to be here. You know, we've got movies, anime, a couple of video game things. You know, you've seen these shelves, right? But this is all the stuff that we built yesterday and today and Saturday. And you can see those are Shogun Warriors figures, and then we've got our consoles right here. Still haven't, let me zoom back out. Still haven't put this where it needs to go. Right there. So obviously some of this stuff is still kind of all over the place. We haven't fully put everything away, but like I said, I'm going to give a tour. So here we've got some limited edition 3DS consoles. We've got a bunch of 3DS games. Obviously, you can see a lot of JRPGs, Shin Megami Tenseis, lots of collector's editions right here, and then even more collector's editions. This is sealed, and this is also sealed. So, you know, awesome. Oh, jeez, it fell over. Okay, I'm not going to go too in-depth because I don't want this video to be a million hours. So I'm just going to kind of pan through everything slowly. There is Counterpunch, the 9.2 grading. Adventures of Batman and Robin with a 7. Castlevania with a 7.5. We've got the Genesis stuff. Obviously, you know, pause through and read all of these titles at your own viewing pleasure, or you can set the video to like 0.5x. But I'm just gonna kind of go through it pretty quickly. This is the one shelf that's got a lot of our value here. We have all of these are renovation titles, which if you know a lot about the Sega Genesis, that is a pretty crazy amount of renovation titles to have. And then we've got our GameCube games, good amount of GameCube games, some of our more expensive PS2 games, and you know, Sega CD and Sega Saturn games. We've got the TurboGrafx, Dreamcast, PlayStation 1. Again, you know, look through these at your own leisure. There are plenty of good games. These are the only 3 N64 games that we currently have, and then a couple more overflow for Genesis. Here is GameCube, and then more GameCube, and then I kind of ran out of places to show off the more expensive Super Nintendo games. Behind that is Earthbound, Hockey and Rocky, Mystical Ninja. We've got a good amount of boxed N64 games, boxed Super Nintendo games. Behind these two, which are actually, you know, if you know NES games, huge NES games to have. Both of them are complete. And before you guys say anything, this is a reproduction of Little Samson. It's not a real complete and boxed Little Samson. They would not be sitting on the shelf like that if it was. So here we've got a bunch of our Super Nintendo games. It's a little hard to get a non-shaky camera angle. So that's the Super Nintendo. This is some stuff, you know, we ended up not having enough shelves. So this one's kind of empty. This is some PS4, PS5, and Xbox stuff. Got 2 Wavebirds there. And this is the NES stuff. Again, I mean, there's a ton of rare stuff if you look through this kind of slowly. I'm gonna have to go a little quicker through the pickups because I'm taking a good chunk of time to show this off. I kind of wanted to show it off pretty quickly. This is the current state of the video game collection here. Not part of the 10K challenge, but nonetheless, very cool to look at, of course. The games that I'm showing today are going to be, you know, they're games I purchased that I'm bringing back with me to Iowa. So those are definitely going into the 10K collection, and they will be reflected in the you know, in the game app at the end of the video. So as you can see, these are all IKEA Billy bookshelves. They're screwed together, and they're screwed into the wall just to make it really secure, because the flooring, I probably said in an earlier video, but the flooring is not even, which makes it harder to have bookshelves, but we made it work, you know. So we're getting close to the end of the NES games, I swear. So we got those 3, and then these are the ones in boxes. It's a little hard to see, but there's some of the more expensive games. So, okay, so that's everything so far. Obviously, we've got control deck in the box, the top loader and the regular, the action set, Donkey Kong Jr., the old school tabletop, a Ice Blue N64 in the box, Frogger tabletop, Sega Saturn in the box, Pac-Man tabletop, Sega Genesis Model 2 in the box, Mario Party 7, GameCube in the box, and then kind of going over here, the last thing that I think is really cool. This is a sealed copy of Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance, which, if it will focus, you would see that it's an 8.0. So that is really awesome. So I am going to set up the camera, and we'll go over the pickups that I got this week. All right, guys, so I'm gonna have to project myself a little bit because I'm a little, you know, far away from the camera. Oh, that's wonderful. Get you back on. 1 second, please. Technical difficulties. Whoa. All right. So, Gamestop had 2 sales this week. It's already over if you're watching this video. I'm sorry, you know, but you know, just gotta keep your finger on the pulse of these things. So 2 different sales. Basically, on games that are $9.99 and under, you can get 4 of them for $20. And for games that are $20 and under, you get 4 of them for $40. So basically, you find 4 games that are $10 or under, they become $5 each. You get 4 games that are $20 or under, then they're $10 each. So each of the games I'm going to show you were either $5 or $10, you know, despite what the pre-owned sticker says. So we're going to go over the games I got that were $5 a piece first. So, first, we've got Shenmue 3, which was $9.99. Just a good game to add to the collection. Some of these games are not worth the most amount of money, but they are games that I'm excited to add to my collection. Most of them, you know, are PS4, PS5. I did ask every single store, like, hey, do you got any retro? Looked in their like drawers and stuff, like they like, oh, here, come behind the counter, look at these drawers. But I didn't see anything that, you know, I really had to have. It was a lot of Mario games, which, you know, I have a lot of. So anyways, for $9.99, we got New Gundam Breaker for the PS4. For the PS5, we've got Potion Permit. This actually looks like a pretty interesting simulator RPG. I like the art style here, so hopefully it's a good game. Obviously, it's going for pretty cheap, so I'll have to check it out. Maybe I'll do a review on that later in the week if it ends up being super good, right? So next, this one might look familiar. Undernaut's Labyrinth of Yomi for the PS5. Now, I bought this one to resell to kind of recuperate some of my money, right? This one is still going pre-owned for about $25. So I should be able to get, 25 bucks for it after eBay fees and shipping. Should get about 20 bucks, which will pay for all 4 of the games. I get to keep 3 of them for free. Why not do that, right? Now, we've got a lot of games that were $10 each. First off, RIP Akira Toriyama. We've got Dragon Ball Xenoverse XV for the PS3. Adding this to the collection, we've got a lot of Dragon Ball games. I'm a huge fan of the Dragon Ball series, and it really was, a tragedy that we lost, such an influential manga and anime creator. My heart goes out to his family and his friends. But for $12.99, which ended up being $10, we got this game for $9.99. For the Switch, we got 2 games, one of which, Bravely Default 2, 10 bucks, Bravely Default 2, not gonna complain. I played the first one and I liked it, so, hopefully this one's good too, right? Then, for 10 bucks, we got Rayman Legends. It's a game I didn't have, and it's kind of like a classic, right? People usually love Rayman games. I personally haven't played much of them, but I do like platformers, so I definitely am going to give it a shot when I have the opportunity. All right, I'm trying to do these in console order, so I'm gonna need to do a little bit of organizing here, because we've got some PS4, mostly PS4. I'll show the PS5 stuff first, actually, because there's only 2 of them. This is a controversial game, Soul Hackers 2 for the PS5. People, when this came out, really didn't enjoy it. It got a lot of bad reviews, but I've also heard a lot of people say that this is actually a good game if you look at it as a kind of a standalone game. Because obviously people played the first Soul Hackers and they were expecting something along those lines, and they were let down by that, and the reviews were very harsh because of that. But I'm really excited to dig my teeth into this. Anything that's Atlas, that's, it's an RPG that's made by the people who make the Persona and the Shin Megami Tensei series, which I am a big fan of. So I'm just gonna really hope that it's still, a pretty good game. We can hope, right? The next one is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, All-Star Battle R for the PS5, 10 bucks, not bad. I like JoJo as much as the next guy, and fighting games, while they're not usually what I do, when I'm playing games with my roommates, a fighting game is really easy to just put on and have some fun with, passing the controller around. So with that in mind, grab that. Next, we've got a lot of PS4 games, and I mean a lot. So first, again, RIP to the GOAT, Akira Toriyama, Dragon Ball Kakarot. I've been looking at this game for a while. It looks pretty good. And it's an older game, so for the PS4 for 10 bucks, not a bad deal. Next, we've got Dot Hack GU, Last Recode. I have the Dot Hack games for the PS2. They're right there. If you see the little creature that's made by the 4 of them all together. If anybody is an OG watcher, you'll know that I got the 4th Dot Hack game, Dot Hack Quarantine, for $2 or $3 at a flea market. It's a very expensive game if you look it up. Awesome. Very happy to add this to the collection. I believe it's a remake of the Dot Hack GU games that came out on the PS2. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but 10 bucks, easy pickup in my opinion. Next up for the PS4, we've got Secret of Mana. 10 bucks, very solid game. I believe this is the 3D remaster. I can't remember if this also has the 2D original ported or if it's just the 3D remaster. But anyways, classic game, good to have it on any console, remakes, whatever, right? Here we have the Nonary games for the PS4 for $10. I believe this is the same as 999 on the DS, which is I think it's just a port, is what it looks like at least. I haven't played super deeply into 999 on the DS, but I am excited to dig into this and, maybe get through more of this one. A game that I have heard a lot about, another Atlas title, and I am looking forward to giving a try, is 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. So for 10 bucks, not a bad pickup. Anytime you can pick up a good RPG for 10 bucks for a modern console, I would say it's a pretty good deal, right? Next, we've got Tales of Berseria. My roommate is a big fan of the Tales games. I myself have not had the time to get into any of them, so maybe this will be a good starting point for 10 bucks. You can't beat it. And then last, but certainly not least, on my quest to complete this series in its originality, we have Yakuza 6, the Song of Life. 10 bucks, you really can't beat that. If it originally came with a manual, this one doesn't have one, but it has the game and it's in pretty good condition. 10 bucks, all of these being 10 bucks a piece. If I was at like a garage sale and I saw all of these for 10 bucks a piece, I would probably pick them all up. So getting them at a GameStop, I feel like a lot of people don't give GameStop enough credit when it comes to finding good deals. If you're watching the videos, every single week I find really good stuff at GameStop. You just have to look in the pre-owned and kind of dig through it, because a lot of these games, how often are you going to see Yakuza 6 for the PS4? Not very often, right? So, for them, it's 20 bucks pre-owned, but for, something like Metal Max, which I got last week, it could be a $50, $55 game when it comes to reselling. But, when they get a trade-in, they can only put it at whatever it has in the system. So sometimes that price is a little higher than what you can get it for on eBay. Like when it comes to, like Octopath Traveler or like Super Mario RPG, the remake that they did for the Switch. I've kept my eye close on those. It's usually cheaper to get those on eBay, but when it comes to some of these older, obviously the PS4 isn't an old console, but in terms of GameStop, it kind of is, because they don't hold a lot of that retro stuff. It usually gets sold or put into a different warehouse. But it's definitely something that I recommend everybody to check out more than what they do. Except if you live in my town, then don't check it out. It's not worth it. Because I'm in there every day. I'm kidding. I go there maybe once a week, and I usually find something that I want to buy. So it's something to definitely check out. I don't think it's on enough of people's radar. And now they get retro. So if you go in to your local GameStop and you say, hey, do you guys have anything retro? A lot of the time they keep it behind, the front desk. You have to ask, and they'll either say, yeah, we got some, usually in my experience, when I ask for retro, they say, yeah, we got some Wii and PS3 and 3DS. And I'm like, wow, is that really considered retro nowadays? But sometimes, like in the case of my local one, they have a stand, they've got Super Nintendo games and NES games and, Game Boy Advance games and stuff like that they get in semi-regularly. So it's definitely worth checking out, asking them, getting to know your local GameStop employee, because sometimes you can get some extra goodies out of it. Not saying to build friendships to get things, but it's definitely something that can be helpful to you if you're trying to build a collection. So anyways, that's all I have for this week. Thank you for watching through. If you've watched through this far, it means a lot to me. I would really appreciate it if you guys could leave a like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already. Tell me which of the games that I got this week you are the most excited about, you think is the coolest, your favorite game, or anything like that. We are going to get into the recap, and then we are going to be done. So I'll see you then. All right, guys, so this is the roundup for the collection this week. We're looking at $6,409 with 129 entries. So kind of looking at what we've got this week, 25, 12, 29. Some of these are better deals than others. Like Bravely Default for $10 is definitely good. But, Secret, or I guess .hack GU for 10 is not as good. Same with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. But, these are all games that I wanted for the collection, and I really don't mind, paying pretty much at value when it is so cheap, right? So that is kind of what we're looking at for this week. Again, I want to thank you so much for watching. If you've watched all the way through, this is Retro Shinobi signing out.